Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. Right, just ignore the fact this is my first time on camera in about 6 months and my hair's booting off in so many directions it looks like I'm trying to impersonate Boris Johnson or an angry toddler who's just awoken from a nap, according to my girlfriend. Yes, Gareth Bale is back. Kind of. Yes, after months of hanging around at Tottenham like a mouldy statue that no one wants a picture with, Gareth Bale finally announced himself back at Spurs. The Welshman ran riot on Sunday afternoon, scoring 2 goals and providing an assist to help Spurs beat Burnley 4-0. I mean, Burnley were absolutely terrible. I half wonder were they just part of an elaborate plan by the Make-A-Wish Foundation to make Gareth Bale's Tottenham dreams come true, because he was just a boy who wanted to be happy again after he was bullied in Real Madrid for just being a little bit different and wanting to play golf. I mean, Nick Pope's attempts to save Bale's first effort was so bad that I wonder if he realised he was actually playing and not just a pitch invader. Pope seemed 100% ready for a Harry Kane shot following a lovely ball in by Son Heung-min, and there was Gareth Bale, like a goal-hanging kid in the playground, to stab it home. I bet Kane was fuming, you know. How dare someone else turn up to this club and actually try and score goals? It's no wonder afterwards that Kane had about 50 million shots. It's slightly unnerving that he only managed to score one. But that's for another day. We're here to talk about Gareth Bale and how he is back, and he is going to take Tottenham back to new heights. He's going to take them back to their former glory, the former glory where they were kind of good under Maurizio Pochettino. Things have been hit and miss under Mourinho, but mainly they've been about as boring as watching paint dry in a world where there's nothing better to do than just watch paint dry. But enough about my new walls. Spurs have been a drab watch all season, which makes it all the more baffling that I thought that Spurs were actually title contenders. But to be fair, for a few weeks it looked like Mourinho had found the perfect recipe. That recipe being slag off Dele Alli, get everyone behind the ball, don't play Gareth Bale, and just hope that Son Heung-min and Harry Kane bail you out. I mean, it worked for about 3 weeks, and what a 3 weeks it was! But it's March now, and Tottenham face a serious battle just to get back in the top 4. But at least they've got a cup final coming up. Against Manchester City, a side who look absolutely unstoppable right now. It's like when Thanos gets all the 5 stones in his hand and he's just more and more powerful than ever before. I'm not a massive Avengers fan, I like Thor. Ant-Man's pretty cool, Paul Rudd's character. Anyway, Tottenham went all guns blazing on Sunday. They had Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, Gareth Bale, Lucas Moura and Tanguy Ndombele all playing in the same team. The gloves were off. It was like Steve Bruce when he said the gloves were off, except this time the gloves were actually off and Tottenham scored 4 goals. I mean, it's great that it worked, but how long is this really going to go on for? Is Jose Mourinho really going to play all these attacking players each and every week? I'm not going to hold my breath. After the game, Mourinho was full of praise for Bale, saying that it would be very nice for me to now say that I handled the situation amazingly well. I'm not that kind of guy. Sometimes people write things and sometimes some of you like to imagine stories. You need to write stories and sometimes you like to say things that are not really true. But there is not one single manager in the world that doesn't play Gareth Bale if Gareth Bale is in very good condition. There is not one, but now he is better than ever. I mean, come on, better than ever might be a little bit of a stretch. As we've found out in recent years, Gareth Bale can't run for long before he needs to spend some time with a physio. And let's go back to the first thing Mourinho said. I'm not that kind of guy. If you weren't that kind of guy, you wouldn't say anything in the first place. What you're basically saying is, I have managed this situation amazingly well. It is all down to me. I have turned this Tottenham team into a team that is as stale as 13-week mouldy bread on purpose. And I have brought Gareth Bale out of retirement for a lazy Sunday afternoon game against Burnley, and all is suddenly well in the world. Next, Mourinho will be telling us we're all welcome for the resurgence of Luke Shaw. Just wait until Dele Alli bags in the Premier League. Then Mourinho will be saying, I'm not saying I'm the second coming of Jesus or that there should be a statue of me outside of this new shiny stadium, but Dele's playing really well. I'm not that kind of guy. But back to Bale, and this will hopefully be a defining moment for the Welsh superstar. He's always been one of those players I liked. He's a speed merchant, he can race past a player, he can score incredible goals, he's good in the air, and he can play golf. He's basically everything I'm not. But there will be doubters because it is only one game after all. I mean, other than playing against a bunch of plumbers every week in the Europa League, he hasn't really done much since returning to Spurs. There was definitely an overreaction when he returned. I mean, I know from experience, the way I went on, you'd think Tottenham had gone back in time and got the Gareth Bale of old who can score goals and dominate games and win them on his own back when Harry Redknapp was in charge of Spurs patrolling the touchline before his dodgy hip packed in. But while there was an overreaction to his arrival, there's also been moments over the past 6 months that he's been written off time and time again because he simply can't get in a Tottenham team that seem intent on not winning football games. I daren't even look at the amount of times I've written him off here at HITC. All you've got to do is cough in the wrong direction and suddenly you've got a 10-minute video dedicated to you being a fraud. But as well as Spurs fans, the Welsh will probably be dead excited by Bale's return to form as well. They've been dreading the Euros. They were probably hoping there'd be another lockdown so the whole thing gets cancelled. Now Bale is back fit and scoring goals and better than ever. They'll probably think they can go the whole way and win the whole thing. Yeah, why not? Someone's got to win it. It won't be them, but why not? Imagine Wales and Scotland final. Oh, my little English heart couldn't take it. That sounded a bit Brexit. But Bale's brace on Sunday was the first time he scored more than one goal in a game in 17 months. The last time he did it was September 2019, where he netted both Real Madrid goals in a 2-2 draw with Villarreal. Sunday's goals were Bale's 35th time in his career that he scored more than one goal in a game, but it was the first time he's done it for Tottenham since February of 2013. It was a 3-2 away win over West Ham. In 8 years on, not a lot's changed. Gareth Bale got a brace, Sigurdsson got the other, and for West Ham it was Andy Carroll and Joe Cole on the score sheet. Out of that mob of players, it's only Joe Cole that doesn't play anymore. Although it's only just now that Gareth Bale's actually being allowed to kick a football at Tottenham. As for Gylfi Sigurdsson, he's doing his best to show that he actually fits in this Everton team that are actually pretty good. As for Andy Carroll, less said about him the better. But if you told me on that day that Gareth Bale wouldn't score another brace in 8 years in English football, I'd wonder what on earth's gone on. The man's had an incredible career, for better or for worse, and in future should be remembered as one of the best players Britain has ever seen. Until he does something wrong, then he's 100% Welsh. To have the career he had at Real Madrid was sensational. The goals he scored, the trophies he won, yet he was kicked to the curb by Zinedine Zidane like a wounded animal who just wanted to play a round of 18 in his spare time. Then again, considering Zidane sold his own son, it's not surprising the way he treated Bale. If anyone else had the Real Madrid career Bale had had, he'd be lauded as a legend. The man scored key goals in Champions League finals. It's literally the only tournament that Real Madrid care about. Sure, one of those goals was handed to him by a concussed Loris Karius, but whatever, they all count. The comeback at Tottenham hasn't fully gone to plan yet, but if he continues to play like he did on Sunday for the next few months, Tottenham have got a big decision to make. The question is, can they keep him fit? The amount of injuries that Bale's had in the last 5 or 6 years is absolutely ridiculous. Knee issues, sprained ankle, calf problems, thigh strain, pulled hamstring. My body aches just thinking about all those injuries, and I haven't kicked a football in months. If Bale bangs in another 10 goals between now and the end of the season, will they sign him permanently? I mean, Daniel Levy loves a marquee name. That's why they've got Jose Mourinho as boss, rather than someone who's actually forward thinking and has got fresh ideas. But he's on huge money and he's in his 30s, so he's likely going to want another big contract. And if there's one thing that Daniel Levy loves more than a marquee name, it's money. And it's not like Real Madrid are going to want him back. For all the crap they're in, Zinedine Zidane is not going to want another Premier League crock. He's already got one in Eden Hazard. And the only other club that seemed to be interested in him last summer was Newcastle. Well, the people who wanted to buy Newcastle, the link with every big name under the sun. But that's not going to happen now. At the minute, the Magpies will be lucky if they just stay in the division. First they got Callum Wilson injured, now it's Alan St-Maximin and Miguel Almiron. It's basically what's happened to Liverpool this season if the rest of the Liverpool team was made up of championship players and a guy who for some reason cost 40 million quid, but no one's really sure why. I mean, who sanctioned that deal? Who saw him and thought 40 million quid? It's about as dodgy as a Matt Hancock track and trace contract. Christ, that was a mouthful. So unless Bale fancies playing in the Championship next season for a tenner a week, a free tour of the Sports Direct warehouse and a complimentary free mug, I don't think he's going to be going to the North East. Christ, first Jesse Lingard's playing well and now Gareth Bale. We're just a Stephen Fletcher hat-trick away from the European Championship just being a nostalgia fest of old players running around in a stadium full of people that haven't been allowed out the house in 6 months, who will just go on their absolute limits and probably actually smell quite a bit. So until the next game of Gareth Bale's career where he probably gets injured or he's sat on the bench next to Carlos Vinicius and Davinson Sanchez, until that moment, Gareth Bale is back. He is suddenly, yet again, the best player in the world. Let's over-egg him till the hills and... Let's over-egg him. So until the next game of Gareth Bale's career where he probably gets injured or he's sat on the bench alongside Carlos Vinicius and Davinson Sanchez, meanwhile being slagged off by Jose Mourinho, until that moment, let's laud Gareth Bale. He is back, he is better than ever. Was that not Eric Bischoff's entrance music? He is back, he is better than ever, and in the words of some rap song that I can't remember, it is comeback season. Is that even a rap song? Who knows? So there we have it, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is the first time we've done one of these face to camera videos since like the start of the season, I think was the last one I did, when it was the predictions. But basically I moved house and I haven't had a proper setup, and then I just kept putting it off every week, even though I said to myself I was going to start doing these more in 2021. But from this moment on, if you like what you've seen, let me know in the comments below and I will make sure I continue to do more videos face to camera. Or if you're a little bit offended by this, we'll just stop. I mean, some of you just moan about the voice. Anyway, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport. And until next time, we will see you around.